Uber Eats, Grubhub, Spark, DoorDash customers, come to the front. We need to have a little discussion here. I usually do not make these types of videos only because drivers and customers can agree to disagree about a lot. Drivers and customers can agree about some stuff and just flat out disagree about other things. But one thing that we have to be in sync with and agree on is safety. I don't mind delivering people's groceries. I don't mind delivering other items. And if I accept an order, I am going to do it to the best of my ability as if I was delivering it to one of my family members or friends. I can't speak to anybody else. Speak for anybody else, and that is not what this video is about. But one thing that we have to all be in sync about is safety. Safety is a must. Again, I don't mind delivering your items. However, if you want me to place your items on your porch at your front door, I need an obstruction-free path to your front porch, to your front door or your porch. If there are kids' toys and equipment and stuff all in your driveway, if you have your car parked, right next to your lawn barrier or perimeter, ignore my shiny face. I don't know why I'm shining tonight, but anyway, I digress. With that being said, when you get ready to place your order, think safety. Wherever I want these items placed, is my driveway clear? Does anything present an obstruction or a tripping hazard for the person bringing my items or goods? Do I have, I've gone to houses where bushes are like overhanging into the walkway and they're thorny and they hurt, but then people don't want you walking on the grass. Well, I don't want to walk into a bush either. I don't want to be stuck by your bush. I don't want to be tripping over kids, bicycles, scooters, and all of these things. Again, I don't mind as long as it is reasonable and safe to do so. I do not mind delivering things to a front door or to a porch, but it needs to be done in a manner that is safe. It's one thing to put in the app, deliver to my porch or deliver to my front door, but then when I arrive, I see a beware of dog sign, don't enter unless the owner is with you. It is at that point that I need you to communicate with me to say, hey, I know my fence says this or that, but the dog has been secured. Because guess what I'm not doing? If I arrive and you have, and I don't care, and I'm not saying that in a mean or bad way, but you can have delivered to my front door all you want in the app. But if I arrive and I see this beware of dog sign, guess what? I'm not going to your front door unless I have confirmation that your animal has been secured. I will, attempt to call. If you don't answer, what I do, I can't speak for other drivers, but what I do is first I attempt to call, because for the orders that I deliver, I already reach out via text and say, hey, I'm on my way, or I'll be there soon. So I feel like that is your opportunity to prepare your property, especially if you have multiple items like cases of water, soda, or, no matter what size the order is, really, you should have a situation that is safe for a person to move about in. And so with that being said, again, if you have animals, make sure that your animals have been secured and communicate that with your delivery driver. If you want it to be inside of a fence, make sure that fence is unlocked and, accessible, whatever that means, so we're not struggling to get in the fence. Because again, if I arrive and you're asking me to go in this fence, but I see all this stuff about, my Second Amendment rights and I have the right to bear arms and all this kind of stuff, I'm not going in your fence. I'm not going to do it. You know, again, I will attempt to call you. I will, I will have already text you to let you know I'm on my way. So after I call, again, I've already text. Then the next thing is I reach out to customer support for whatever app I'm using and ask them for further guidance. As of late, the last few times that it has happened, I've had an issue with this type of signage or obstructions or whatever. There's a couple of times I've been instructed to leave stuff outside of the fence. And there's also been a couple of times where customer service has said, hey, I'll process a return the items back to the restaurant or store or what have you. And that's what I'm going to do, because like I say, we can agree to disagree on a lot, but safety is not one of those areas where it can be gray. It has to be solid, and we have to be in sync with safety. Another thing that I am seeing, I can't speak for other drivers, but another thing that I am seeing is customers wanting their items placed, again, at their front door or the porch. However, they have their cars parked right at the edge of the walkway. Okay, how do I access the walkway if your car is right there and there's no space between your car and the walkway for me to walk? Or you have your car right there and then the barrier that lines your, is it called perimeter? The perimeter or retainer wall going around your property that keeps people off your grass or your flower bed. Your car is right up next to that. That leaves no walking space. And then you try and go, behind the car, in front of the car, and it's also backed right up against your garage. So, I usually don't like making these types of videos because I feel like sometimes they can get confrontational, and this video is about nothing but safety. Anything else as far as driver-customer disagreement, I'm not having it, because we can all agree to disagree on some things. We can all agree on some things, but safety is just not one. So before you say something rude or outlandish in the comments, just know, I don't want to block anyone, because I want everybody to feel right to express themselves. But this is one of those things where I just straight block you, because safety is not up for debate. Okay? So the next time you place an order, think about safety. And you have a good night.